So here is my latest eBay purchase from a seller a few hundred miles away, and it's Texas Instruments laptop. So let me show you this. It's a Texas Instruments TravelMate 400M, and broke my rules slightly with this one. Bit more of a budget. This was £50, so that's about $60 US. The reason I went for this one is a couple of things. Firstly, it is very good condition, so I think it's okay value for money, but I'm not in the business of buying collector's items. It is my first 486, so we've got 486 DX250. This model of laptop was the first that I had for work. It was actually second-hand when I got it, but it was in good condition, and it used to get comments about being a very nice laptop, so obviously that was mid to late 1990s. And it was an expensive laptop then. I think I saw something like £3,000 in the 90s, so a lot of money. I have seen a YouTube video from The Tech Knight, which I'll link, which is an excellent restoration video, and he found his one had very delicate plastics, so I am worried about that, but this one looks okay. So in particular, the latches are still in place, buttons seem okay. Let's have a look around the laptop. So this is as came condition, so a little bit of dirt but not too bad, some scratches there, but otherwise very good. Let's have a look on the side. So we've got a PC card slot and floppy drive, no CD-ROM on this, so PCM CIA slots. Pins look okay to me, yes. And on this side, not much to see. Not sure what the blanking hole is. Battery. And around the back we have just the DC in, but a fairly conventional one. And a good selection of connectors that are nicely labelled in the lid. So here we've got keyboard, and there's a code there, 991180029. We've got VGA, so that's quite modern. We've got the modern VGA. We've got the serial port and printer port, but of course, what about this SCSI port? So I think I have a SCSI drive. I'm not sure I've got a cable, so I'm going to have to get something to try that out, but I think that's probably how you put a CD-ROM in. Here we have a MIDI stroke joystick, so whether that's like a miniature 15-pin. And then we've got the conventional microphone out and in. On this that looks a bit like a plate that screws in. Today's slidey magazine is Practical Electronics, June 2022. So place that there. And let's have a look at the items on the bottom. We've got the battery, so I'm going to put this to one side. This is, I think, the biggest laptop battery I have. It doesn't say when this was made. We've got 9530, so maybe week 95, week 30 of 1995. I thought this laptop was maybe a little bit before then, but of course it may not be original. It doesn't completely match the finish. It's really heavy. Nickel metal hydride. But I can't see any signs of leakage or corrosion on the terminals. We'll put that to one side. And there's only one panel on the bottom, so let's have a look at that. A bit of dust picked up. So when I got the laptop, it did smell of old house a bit. So I think this genuinely has been in someone's house for a long time. Maybe it was their work laptop. or one of their own maybe, but I suspect any laptop with a label is a work one, and they were lucky enough to keep it. So look at the quality of that. We got the coating on the inside, I guess conductive coating. I think I'll just pop this out, have a quick look, and look for any problems or issues. I'm trying to be fairly gentle. This is a very old laptop. Wow, look at that. So we've got Japan C006 HM514402 C6. Disappointingly, Texas Instruments, you've not put the screw as captive, but that's fine. Now this unit didn't come with a charger, as so many laptops don't, despite its condition. So we have 18 volts at 2 amps, 36 watts, so not very much power. 18 volts is a little unusual maybe. And no polarity, just DC in. So I think the way that you confirm the polarity is to check that the ring, the outer, which is normally negative. Notable exceptions are ZX Spectrum. So let me check for continuity to the various metal items here. Test the multimeter works. And check the leaf and the center. So the outer is definitely the ground. Here's the universal power supply. Now I'm not sure this does 18 volts. Ah, it does. G. Unfortunately, I have T fitted, and I'm not sure where G is because I have a lot of things packed away. I'm going to be cheeky. Although this is 18 volts, I'm going to slightly underrun it. So let me test the output of this, because this polarity can be changed. So I'm on volts now, definitely on volts. So I think outer is negative and center is positive, and we have 16.2 volt. So I am confident this works. I have tried to power up before, but here goes the power in. Okay, let's turn on. We've got power. Quite a noisy hard drive. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, and on the camera I've got scanning lines. Let me adjust that. Now it's a fair assumption that the BIOS battery is dead, and having looked around the panels, there's none to take off for that. So it gives me the option to set this up. Now this is a reasonably bright screen, so I've left the lights on and the camera seems to be picking up the screen nicely, but with that slightly annoying pulsing. So let me press enter to run. I think all I need to do is save settings, because everything looks fairly standard, so I might set let's go forward a bit. So memory, it's not only showing the basic, that's interesting. And for definitely a different vintage of PC. Page up, page down. So this is page 1 of 4, right. 2 of 4. Power savings, not bothered about that. Caps lock, screen. I think that's all fine. Standard COM parallel port. Not much to set really. Save values and exit. Run to boot, and it's booting. So I can see the hard drive flashing. So this original hard drive is running. And this must have been the original setup options menu. This is looking very corporate, so we want standard Windows for workgroups. And we have Windows 95. It's a warm day here, it's about 20 degrees. Well, warm day for where I live. So the screen probably didn't need any warming up, but it's come up looking very good. We've even got some sound. Let me wait for Windows to finish booting. Have we got a mouse? Oh, there we go. So look at that desktop. So already here's the first fault. So we've only got up and down on the trackball, which is a shame. So here is my Pyrid mouse. I wanted to buy a serial mouse and this one came up and just needed a good clean, which meant I had to poke the holes to get the labels, to get the screws out. And I wanted a serial mouse because although this showed a PS2 keyboard on the back, it didn't show a PS2 mouse, and obviously got the COM port. So this mouse is quite interesting. It's a little bit yellowed. It's Microsoft, so it feels nice. It's heavy with the trackball. But the strangest thing is the lead. So here's the lead, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and finally here is the end. Let's see if this goes into the serial port. Now with Windows 95 it doesn't seem to pick up the serial mouse. I did struggle to get that to work, so the only way I found was to go in and switch the mouse device to serial mouse. Okay, need to tab up to the tabs. General, here we go. So Microsoft serial mouse. So interestingly, that is the correct one. Maybe it needs a reboot. I want to restart my computer. Thank you. Brilliant. I have a mouse. So has it disconnected? It hasn't. I've got both. I didn't get that to work before. I've not found much on here, but one thing that is quite interesting is WordPerfect unfortunately doesn't work. You get lots of errors like that. But we seem to have Microsoft Works on here. Yes, note we have a huge 325 megabyte hard drive. So this hard drive is a bit precious at the moment. That's pretty amazing that still works. So what programs do I have? Microsoft Works, that does seem to work. MS Works EXE. So if this machine is upgraded memory, I think it probably has about 8 meg now. Is there a system information? So this is Microsoft Works. I don't remember using this, but the spreadsheet really does look like Excel. Oh, if you press enter, it doesn't go to the next box. How things change. It does have things we recognise like AutoSum. So that is pretty good. So that is Works spreadsheet. No. I wonder how you get back to Works. So can I try the word processor? So let me test the keyboard. Let's go to a huge font. The keyboard has a rubber dome feel that is quite firm. Now, do we have all the keys working? It looks like we do. That's pretty amazing. So home, even these tiny keys down here, that seem to be working. Ooh, bit of noise. So that's quite impressive. So Control there. Oh, that's interesting. Control A does file name. Very strange. So that's all looking pretty good. So I think the next thing is to back up this hard drive. That could well go at any time. So we've got no USB, obviously. The floppy, not really going to trust, not even going to try and spin it up, because that apparently is belt driven, so we need to check the state of that belt. So I think the best thing is to try and initially put some sort of storage in. I've prepared this PCMCIA compact flash adapter with 2 gig card, so plenty for what's on here. And I'm just going to see if I can use this. Now I have prepared this in another Windows 95 machine, so I'm hoping that it will be seen. Everything has a flap on this machine, so let's place it in. Maybe I need to go into the control panel and add some hardware. This is Windows 95. Lots of restarts. Yes. Finding some new hardware. Let me minimize control panel. Windows default driver. I think I'll have a Windows default driver. Thank you. Standard IDE ESDI hardware. I think we might be in luck. Look at that. New volume, and that's the test file that I placed. I should have put a nicer welcome message. So I think the urgent task now is to copy some of those precious folders. I'm going to start with utils, which I understand is utilities put on there by Texas Instruments. Oh, I've got PKZip, that's useful. I'm guessing that's command line version, or does it come up with a Windows GUI? Oh, look at that. That's really useful. Yes. I'd like some information. We've got battery EXE, battery level 100%. Well, that seems unlikely as the battery's there. So I might just try out those system test options in the boot up. So we had system maintenance and backup. PC dock to diagnostics. Yes, let's try that. Although weirdly, carries on into Windows. Here we go. Well, I can't see that too clearly. It's like a different screen mode. Needs an adjustment. If I do it too far, it all disappears. Too far the other way, it disappears. You have to get just the right position. There we go. Copyright Watergate software. How strange. So I've got options up here. Oh, these are quite faded. Diagnostics, interactive tests, hardware info. We want hardware info. System configuration. So, can I see that? This screen is struggling with this. So we've got CPU type 50 MHz 486 DX. So that's correct. It says DX. 50 MHz. We've got base memory 640. We've got extended memory of 7 meg, just over 7 meg. Added those up, so we've got 8 meg. So that expansion was 4. So we've obviously got 4 on board added to 4. We've got a serial port, VGA Cirrus Logic. Yeah, interesting. Could look that one up. So that's our system config. Hardware info. What are memory contents? Device drivers, physical disk drives, disk 1, 333 meg. Logical disk drives, VGA information. Not much information. Total memory 700k. Slightly random amount. Interactive tests. Printer, system load, internal speaker. Exciting. 605, 1045 Hertz, 2000 Hertz, 3000 Hertz. 5000 Hertz, 10,000 Hertz. So we've had a good look around this laptop and that all works, but good condition as it is in, I think it is essential to check for leaking batteries and capacitors. It's been asleep for a long time, and after running for a bit I've had the occasional sort of slightly dusty smell from it, but I think it probably is essential to at least remove the BIOS battery. Let's make a start. Now, looking at the Tech Nights video, it does seem like this front piece, the keyboard piece, lifts off. And this is in good condition, so I don't think a full tear down and a wash is necessary for this machine. Now, I imagined it had not been, or not had anything done, but these screws are not cracking. Let's have a listen. No. There's no crack. So it implies it has been apart. Maybe that one had a tiny one. They just came out too lightly and easily. This unit seems good, but I know these plastics are so delicate. Maybe that comes off first. So maybe this section does lift off first. Let's lift this section off. Really aren't many more screws. Let me remove them all. Strangely, one on the back here maybe allows this top section to come off. That is a smaller screw. Put that over there to mark it as there. And then this top section has 3 tiny screws along here. Have we got screws under keys? Surely they wouldn't put screws under keys. Aha. There's another screw here. So now this back piece is lifting up. There we go. So, what is touching this piece still? So on this side I was sliding it backwards and forwards, but I've popped it over this clip here. So I'm wondering if I have to do the same on the other side. This clip, I can see it slides back, forwards and backwards. So I just have to lever it over this clip a bit. The clip is here. That is really tough. There we go. So it's the same. It was literally that clip. So maybe a little bit of lubricant for when this goes back together. Fantastic. Okay, I'll lean the back against there. So of course this is slightly faulty. We only have one direction, so it looks like I do need to disconnect that. So that is slightly squiffy. That's probably me just pulling on it then. Does this have connectors? There we go. And this is our prize. Let's have a look at that. So a little bit of corrosion on the front and worse on the back. I think I would describe that as just in time. So I'm going to remove the hard drive out of the way, which is interesting. The hard drive is held in largely by what is that? Bit of sort of conductive foam. That seems to be it. Taking a bit of persuasion. And there we go. Okay. Can I lever that up? So hard drive looking just fine. Double height 2.5 inch drive. I don't have anything like that. I'd like to image this, even though I've copied the files off of it. I think an image would still be better. So let me place that very gently down there. Now, interestingly, there's a tiny bit of corrosion has spread onto these, so I'll give that a clean. But let's clip that out first. I thought that was corrosion. In fact, it's not. It's a very bubbly sticker. So at the time I forgot to measure the voltage of the battery, so here's a quick insert from later on. And let's measure. And we have 0.4 of a volt. So I'll just give this a bit of a clean, but really not as bad as I thought. Try not to blow particles of whatever everywhere. I think the next stage is, if possible, try and inspect capacitors, which is just about possible with this removed this way. So we have a huge cable here, looks like a big coax, but it's not, it's a multi-coil that goes to there. I think it may also be worth removing the floppy to see if we can see that belt, and at least clean the heads. Look at that, Daewoo. Texas Instruments 7300 system board. And there we go. So I can just about move the belt and see it tension and untension. And it does seem to be okay. So I think I'll just give the heads a clean and reassemble the drive. And that probably means it's safe for testing. I think taking on that belt change is a job for another day. So while I'm here, I'm going to remove this because this didn't work, but I'm going to be careful because I don't think this is a fault. Maybe the best thing will be to boot it up like this. So let me check I got that the right way around. Yeah, it goes in there like that. And here we go. So we still only have up and down movement with this controller. Oh. And now it's disappeared, which it does do sometimes. I've had that before. So to image this hard drive from the Texas Instruments, I need another laptop which has several things. Firstly, I need to be able to boot from a CD-ROM. So I can't use the Texas Instruments itself. I don't have the CD-ROM. I think you need an external SCSI one. Secondly, I need a machine that fits this hard drive. And I've looked for a few laptops in my collection and not many fit it. It turns out the old Toshiba 300 CDS does. However, not perfectly. This is the caddy. But the hard drive is still slightly too tall, and it fouls on this folded metal bit. But it turns out it will just fit straight in to this cutout. I line up the pins very carefully. I can push the hard drive home, and the lid will go on to hold it securely. And of course I can put my PCMCIA compact flash in, and this is where I'll place the image onto. What I'm hoping is that it will boot from CD-ROM first. I've set the CD-ROM as boot priority, and it has. So not much memory on this Toshiba machine, so I'm going to go for command line only. Can I get the screen any better? That's a bit better for text. I've got SDA1, which is 325, so I think SDA1 is the hard drive that has been recognized, and SDB1 is a compact flash. So I want to mount the compact flash into a folder, so make directory compact flash, and I'm in home TC where I've got AS, so I can do sudo device SDB1. SDB1 is definitely the compact flash of 2 gig to home TC compact flash. So sudo dd input file equals dev sd output file equals home tc compact flash and ti image version 1. On the internet somewhere it said do status progress, but I don't think that command is supported. Valid argument progress to status. I think I'll just have to hope that it's working without a way of knowing. And I can hear the hard drive ticking away. So that process has completed, and it's claiming 325.6 meg copied. So now all I need to do is list compact flash, and there is my file. So TII image version 1 341, and obviously the date is the Jan the 1st because I've not set the BIOS on this machine. So using the Toshiba laptop running Tiny Core Linux just in command, I've created using dd command a copy of the image of the hard drive from the Texas Instruments. So this 325 meg drive, I think, has created that. I formatted this as FAT, just a FAT file system, so 2 gigabyte. In the past I have tried to image a larger file, hard drive. That is very difficult. You have to find a file system that can handle that fits in Linux, and then you can transfer to Windows. But this was a bit easier just using FAT. That works in most systems. So to run the image in a virtual machine, I'm going to use the Sony laptop, which had a wash in a previous video and is a great candidate. This has a PCM CIA slot. It only has one. By this stage, that wasn't seen as quite so forward thinking, so hence it has that. There's lots of USBs instead. So can I open that in File Manager? So here's a copy. These are all the files copied from the hard drive, but this is the actual image. So let me copy that. And I think this machine's a safe machine to do this on, because obviously this could be full of viruses. So in this Sony, I've installed a SSD, and I've got the original image from Sony on a burned DVD, so I can just re-image this machine anytime. This is copying the 325 megabyte image from my compact flash adapter. Let's let that finish. It says 7 minutes it's going to take. Now I've got the image file produced by DD. I'm going to use Oracle VMware. I've got an old version 4 I've installed on here, and this needs to be converted. So here is the command. So vbox manage, vbox manage, convert from RAW. Convert from RAW, and then we need input file, which is D TI400M, TI400M, TI image, and our output file, which I think I'll put in the same directory. So D, D backslash TI400M, and let's call it the TI image version 1.vdi, and the format will do VDI. Format equals VDI. Doing this one-handed. So let's see if that works. Creating dynamic image with size 341 meg, brackets 326 meg, and that does it really quickly. Has a file actually appeared? It has. There's the image. Okay, so now we want to use Oracle and create a virtual machine. So we're in Oracle Virtual Box Manager. Let's create our new machine. So I'll call this the TI TravelMate image, and this will be Windows 95, and it's suggesting, I think the TravelMate does have 8 meg, but it's suggesting 64, so let's go straight to 64. There's plenty of memory in this laptop. We're going to use an existing hard disk, which is that one. I had selected it previously, as you saw. And let's see if it will let us create that. And it has. Excellent. Right, I'm going to make a few changes before we go. So I think one CPU, that's correct. That will do. Acceleration, network. Hey, there's no network. And I I think that will do. Not sure what it's going to do for audio. Ooh, Sound Blaster 16, maybe that will be a bit more compatible. USB, that don't have a USB. It does have some serial ports on our laptop, but we're not bothered. I think that will do. So there's our machine. Here we go. Okay, so it's right control, which is that one, to capture and release the mouse. So look here, we have the original menu. So we'll go standard Windows for work groups. And is it going to hang? Is it going to work? Wow, look at that, we have the desktop. Amazing. Windows has updated your clock. Right, I'll click to capture the mouse, release it with right control. We'll accept the date change. This machine has got a battery in it, or a BIOS battery, so it does know the real time and date, more or less. Your display. I'm not going to do that because I think that probably will go wrong. Not sure what to do about hardware display. So we're on a pretty basic display. In fact, can we go up a bit? Well, we should keep it as the original laptop, shouldn't we really? Maybe that will do. And there we go, look at it, all our programs. So MS Works, the one that does work. Microsoft Works. Spreadsheet. So look at that, that's all working. I can sum two numbers. So we could do that back in 1995. So that's been quite a lot of work getting to that stage, but this hard drive is now immortalized in a virtual machine. So I think we can go ahead and safely reinstall this back in the original laptop. This laptop really does not need to be dismantled, so I've inspected the capacitors for any leakage. I think we're okay, there's no bulging. The battery is removed. I'm not planning to put any replacement in yet. However, I haven't fixed this, so I'll have to do a search for one of these because I can't see any obvious damage, so I'm guessing it's broken internally and is probably not really repairable. And screwdriver, I don't have any magnetic effect, unfortunately. Let's get that lined up and not damage or bend any pins. Got a firm push onto there. There we go. Ah, perfect. Oh, perfect-ish. Yeah, that's fine. No, it's fine really. So this goes onto there, not bending any pins. Again. And this can go back on. For now, I I guess it goes on that way. So that fits in like that. These screws seem surprisingly loose. This must have been a part. All the screws are very loose. And is that? And there's one missing there. It doesn't seem to have a way of holding on. So I think I'll lubricate these clips because they were particularly tough to remove. Okay, this is soaked in silicone grease. On the side. And then maybe some on here as well. So I hope that comes apart a bit easier next time. Right, I think that's gone in. We put the screws in loosely. And some to hold together. I knew it would creak slightly once I've taken it apart. All laptops always do. I guess just the bonds between the plastic have been broken. It's always disappointing. One in here. I carefully put the long screw in here. Use the slidey magazine. All set up, just need to plug in the mouse again, so let me find the end of the lead. Here is the end. It's a D-type. You have to plug them in the right way. And power on. Run setup. Hit any key. I'm going to put the year forward a bit. 1989 is interesting. So we didn't really prove the year, and that will do. F4 to save. Standard Windows for workgroups, please. Windows has updated your clock as a result of daylight savings time. I must have randomly picked a daylight savings day. And I think all we have that's much good on here is MS Works, so nothing of much fun. What does the database look like? Looks a bit like a strange word processor. Yeah, not very interesting. Save changes? I don't think so. But of course we do have the classic Windows 95 games. I'm hoping Backgammon, M-Pipe, Gin Rummy, cannot find. Well, solitaire it is then. Oh look, I've got an ace. This looks like the Christmas version. What have I got? I've got a 9. Yeah, nothing much good really. Yep, I think we're stuck. Was there an 8 anywhere? No, as hopeless at solitaire as ever. So, thank you for watching this on the Texas Instruments TravelMate 4000M. Too good to completely dismantle, but we did remove the battery and we made an image of this original hard drive, and that should live on forever.